Alright, that was fun, but in all seriousness, let's actually get into the video. This being the sequel to my shopping for fake cleats on eBay video, where I had you guys vote for a pair of fakes for me to buy from 5 that I had selected. Overall, it was pretty clear which pair you wanted to see me get. Number 5, the Plus 11 Superfly 5 knockoff, and let me say, these are horrible. Now I'm not going to go ahead and bash them before I've tried them. That'll come later in the video where I actually go to the field and test these out, but here's some of my first impressions. When a company doesn't send you a box with a pair of shoes, it is a little alarming, but worst of all, which I actually talked about earlier, was the fact that they actually sent me the wrong size pair of shoes. They sent me a 45, which was not the pair I ordered. I purchased a size 43, and if you actually look inside the shoe, they wrote in a 3 over the 5, so it looks like I got the right size. To be honest, in the end, I think this is actually kind of funny. It just shows some of the practices these companies actually use. It's like, if you translate this to a US, it's a size 11 and I ordered a 9.5, so I don't know if they thought I wouldn't realize that they sent me a shoe that's a size and a half bigger than what I ordered, but I don't know. Now I'll go over my first impressions on these shoes. Now, right out of the box, I can just say the build quality seems awful. They seem very cheap overall and the construction is really unimpressive. That being said, I did only spend $30 on these, but even then, I'm underwhelmed by what I'm getting in the end. So first of all, let's talk about the upper. The upper right out of the box is very stiff and very thick, and it just, again, has a very cheap vibe to it. Another area of particular concern is the heel. I actually addressed this in the last video. I said the heel looked very cheap. In person, I think it looks even cheaper. It just looks like a thin piece of plastic / synthetic that goes over your heel area. Also, I want to address the collar. The collar is massive. I don't know whose ankle goes out like this, but I tell you what, it's not very anatomical, and if you compare it to that of the actual Superfly 5, you can see it's very different overall. Because of this, I'm guessing that it'll kind of bunch up on my ankle, and it won't give you the tight, snug fit that you get on the actual pair. The last thing I want to address is the sole plate. Looks-wise, this is actually the same sole plate you get on the authentic pair of AG Superflies, but there's one pretty distinct difference with this pair: build quality. The plastic used on the sole plate is incredibly cheap, and I can literally bend it with my hands if I wanted to. And to me that shows that this is probably going to be a pretty uncomfortable shoe. Durability will probably be pretty low, and you might experience a little bit of stud pressure from the studs because again, that plastic used on the bottom is very thin. But do keep in mind, these are only first impressions. I have never worn the shoe, but I don't have very high hopes. Now I'm going to go to the field and do a play test on these shoes, and afterward I'll give you my thoughts on how these perform. Alright, so right out of the box I have a quick issue with the shoes, and that would be the lace hole. The upper one is punched into the upper in like the first section, but not the second one. I'll show what that looks like now, but I'm gonna have to try and take something to kind of poke that out. I think I'll use probably a pencil, and we'll see if I can get these on feet. Alright, so after some trouble, I finally managed to get the boots on feet, and they feel very wide, but we'll see. Let's get right into the test. Alright, so that was my playtest on the Plus 11 Mercurials. I think it went pretty well. It was one of those days where I kept hitting the crossbar, which was kind of annoying. But overall I got some good shots and some good foot skills in. But I do want to address some concerns that I have with these after wearing them for roughly 2 hours. First of all, the fit. I've worn a lot of boots in the past, but these are probably the widest ones I've ever worn. My foot slid around on the inside a lot and that was kind of uncomfortable. Again, that could be due to the fact that these are too big. Again, they are a size 45 and I ordered a 43. Actually, it's kind of funny, you can see the marker actually wore off where they wrote in the 3 over the 5 after I played in them. Another area that I addressed earlier in the video was the sole plate. It was really not good. It wasn't too comfortable and you could feel a lot of the bending that went on as you moved. And actually, take a look at it, you can see the sole plate is permanently bent after 2 hours of use because just having my foot on it, the plastic was so cheap it actually bent it. And overall, I really was not a fan of these. It's kind of fun to do as a gag. I wouldn't really recommend purchasing a pair unless you're doing it for a gag, because I would not want those boots to play in, day out. You definitely could get, even like a low-end takedown model is considerably better than those. But it was pretty fun to do. I'm actually really glad I did the video. I've never actually worn a fake pair of cleats before, so it was pretty cool. Also, the video quality hopefully is better on this one. I actually just purchased Final Cut Pro to edit with, and I'm also using a new DSLR. I'm working on getting things upgraded as far as video quality and editing quality. I didn't do too much with it yet, but I think there's a lot of future things I can do, and it's a really good editing software. So thank you guys again so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. This one, as always, was lots of fun to make. And in the future, over the summer, I'll keep coming out with content every single week for you guys that hopefully you do enjoy. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.